right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Comics from the Future, where you can preview and pre-order upcoming comics with us every Friday at 1 p.m. My name is Megan. This is Andy, and this is Jason. And we're from a comic shop in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And we are opening our doors to the online world now. So if you see anything you like in today's video, please comment, send us a message, do what you need to do to get us that info. Your orders for this video are due by Monday at 5 p.m. So if you're watching this on a replay or whatever, this video is still in effect. If you're watching this Monday at 2 p.m., please still send us an order. All right.
So today we have a contest where you can win a free copy of Batman 92 and the variant by Stanley Lau, also known as Art Germ. All you have to do to win the contest is you have to like our page, you have to like and share this video, and you just have to order your own copy of Batman 92. And we're going to choose one winner. We're going to announce the winner on the next show.
Yes. So reason to stay tuned and hit the notification to find out if you win it. We've been staring at these covers for ages. I'm glad that they will finally be out.
I know.
So.
All right, so let's start getting to some of the comics.
Well, actually, as you are getting on, if you're on a desktop in particular, if you want to open up a new window and go to previewsworld.com and go to catalog and then final orders due, you can check out the full range of what is available for this week's final order correction. It's not just we're hitting the highlights on this video, but anything you see there, as long as you give it to us by this Monday at 5, we will be able to order that for you, and we'll be happy to do so.
Okay. Well, let's get started on the comics that we've chosen this week.
And we're talking about Batman. Feels like last week it was almost only Batman, but let's talk about a little bit more Batman. So here's the checklist for Batman Joker War, which is coming up very soon. I believe it starts in issue 95. And I know last week we talked about issue 96, which is great if you put yourself down for it. But today we're going to talk about issue 92, which is going to be really cool. So far, James Tynion's run on Batman has been awesome. It's really a very more traditional Batman, a lot of detective stuff, but he's also introducing a lot of really cool stuff. And this issue, from doing a little research, checking out some of the preview pages, looks like the first interaction between Harley Quinn and Punchline. So I feel like this one's going to be a big one to get into, because we know they're going to have a big fight coming up, and Punchline is all anybody's talking about right now in the Batman world. So this is going to be really a good place to jump on if you haven't been reading Batman so far. Only a couple issues after this is when Joker War starts, but I feel like a lot of the pieces for Joker War are going to be started here. And then we have the variant, which is what the contest is all about. We've seen this variant for a really long time, which is funny because it's like we don't know a whole lot about Punchline so far, but could be the hottest character without very much information coming out.
We know she's got some cool fashion sense.
Oh, yeah.
She's got a cool fashion sense. Apparently, if Harley is like the really outgoing, in-your-face Joker girlfriend, Punchline is the much more subdued but kind of creepier, trickier version of that character. And then we get this awesome Art Germ variant, which I believe will be the first time she appears on the full cover, just her. So this will be a very key cover and issue to get. That's why I'll probably get both.
And it looks like she enjoys a game of tic-tac-toe as well. Always the X's and the O's.
Yeah. Very cool character. I'm excited to check out something new with this. So, all right. Well, next we have Sabrina, Something Wicked. This is a new story arc for the Sabrina series. If you guys love the previous Sabrina series, let us know. But this is sure to be really cool. Like I said, new story arc. It's a 5-part series. And the art is by Veronica and Andy Fish, husband and wife team. So let's see some of the other covers we have going on. So that was the main cover you just saw. This is the Sweeney Boo cover.
That is some kind of name.
Yep. her aesthetic fits her name. We have the Rebecca Isaacs cover, the Marguerite Sauvage cover, and the Cameron Stewart cover. I think that might be one of my favorites. So,
I love the Cameron Stewart. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
that's cool. Look at that cat front and center. There's creepy cat eyes right
Yeah.
in the face.
All right, so I wanted to talk about for a second the original Sabrina series, which came out in the 70s. I was just doing a little bit of research, and it was classified as what was it? It was teen humor. It was a teen humor series, and it had like weird horror elements to it. But if anything, I would say this new Sabrina series is much more along the lines of teen horror / humor. And of course, it's good for
I
adults.
feel like
as
it's
well,
a good
but
medium between the old '90s show
yeah,
and the Netflix one. I read the previous Sabrina series by the same team, and it's got the little bit of darkness of the Netflix one, but not quite as
yes,
dark.
You're right.
So this is a good young adult version of Sabrina.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really cool on Previews World, which I promise they're not sponsoring me. You can check out the first five pages of this. So if you're on the fence, if you want to sign up for the Sabrina series, if you know you like the first, you can comment that. But if you aren't sure and you want to check it out, you can actually read the first 5 pages on Previews World. So
That was good information.
if you you got to click on the series, but yeah, it'll point you to it.
So there's not a whole lot of Marvel this time. However, we have a new Image comic. It is Adventure Man #1 by Matt Fraction and Terry and Rachel Dodson. They're a husband and wife art duo. So Adventure Man, apparently it's about a Golden Age hero who died 80 years ago. And so now it's the present, and there's this single mom and her son who are big fans of his. And they have to unravel the mystery of whatever happened to him and possibly bring him back. That's sort of what it promises. It just has the one cover. It doesn't have 5 variants, which is
Oh wow, I'm
refreshing.
surprised.
Yeah. So also, it's a triple length first issue, and it's still just $3.99. So I expect they're losing money on this because they really believe it's going to be that good.
Yeah,
I'm interested.
sure. Yeah.
Well, Terry Dodson's been doing the art on the X-Men Fantastic Four book right now, so it's beautiful, and I can imagine this is going to be just as awesome.
All right. And what do we have next?
Ooh.
This
Alien.
one.
But what's that
I
thing in
am
the center?
interested.
That doesn't look like a xenomorph.
No, not at all.
No, from the variant cover too, it kind of looks like Groot. But this is really cool. This is Dark Horse is adapting the original screenplay of the 1979 Alien movie. The original title for the movie was Star Beast, which is a great 80s title of a movie. You go, RoboCop versus Star Beast would have inevitably occurred. And this is by the original script is by Dan O'Bannon.
Dan O'Bannon.
Dan O'Bannon.
Yep.
You said you were familiar with.
I am. He wrote Return of the Living Dead. He co-wrote Total Recall. Yeah, great screenwriter. He died a while back, unfortunately. Otherwise, we'd probably have more awesome 80s-like movies.
And this one it's interesting reading about it. It sounds similar to Alien. There's, of course, like the derelict ship that's crashed, a distress beacon. But it sounds like it goes a little bit, I don't know, more sci-fi than like extreme horror, even though there's those horror elements. But this is going to be really cool. And as a note, there also is a Predator original screenplay comic coming out as well later. So I think these are going to be some really cool things to jump on if you want to read that original story.
God, what is that thing?
Yeah, it's the horror version of Groot.
Yeah,
So that's the variant cover.
That's the Walt Simonson variant cover, which is really cool that they got him to do it because he does such cool space and.
I mean, he's really
creatures.
big, but usually with a creature that's big, you're afraid of it eating you. But I don't see a mouth, which
That
maybe
You don't
is
wanna
more
see the mouth.
horrifying because you don't know what the thing's gonna do with you.
Once you see the mouth, you're too close.
It's a little Prometheus-like too. That kind of like giant humanoid type character in that universe.
You know, previously Dark Horse released it was Alien 3, the
Alien
original
3, yeah.
screenplay, the comics. And I read those. It was great because it was so different. It
Mhm.
takes you back to that universe, but it was like a whole nother movie.
Yeah.
So
it's always fun to see too
I'm definitely picking
what
this one up.
happens with those ideas. Like you'll see like, oh, they used that made it to the movie, but this part of it didn't, or this character was swapped out with this character.
Yeah.
And this character dies and this character lives. So I'm really excited about pretty much anything alien related, but this one especially because it's going to be so unique.
All right. Well, next we have a brand new original series, JONNA and the Unpossible Monsters. So this very cool title. It's written by husband and wife Eisner Award-winning team Chris and Laura Samney. And it's set in a prehistoric, just fantastical world. The couple, the writer and artist, talked about how they based these characters on their own daughters, so it's definitely going to be appropriate for all ages. So, like I said, it's about two sisters who are suddenly separated from their father, and monsters invade their world. So they have to fight the monsters and find their father eventually. So, many of you may know Chris Samney is working on Firepower with Robert Kirkman.
I forgot about that.
Maybe he's been working on this during quarantine or something. He's been doing this series.
This is very different for Chris Samney with the stuff he's done before, doing Captain America with Mark Waid. He did a lot of Daredevil. So to see something like this is just completely out of left field, but it's cool because it's like a pet project, it seems like something that, you know, it's not Marvel, not DC. It's like, oh, this is what he kind of wants to be working on right now.
And the title really feels like a little kid was consulted on it. So I like that.
I think so too. So this main cover is by Chris Samney himself. The next cover is a Mike Mayhack cover. And then we have a Paulina Ganesho cover. So, yeah, you can comment that you want one, all three, or you just want to sign up for the series if this sounds interesting to you. It did look like it was ongoing. So, yeah, it's interesting, fantastical world, creator-owned comic coming out.
So next up, I have another Image book. I'm a big fan of Jonathan Hickman. He had just started Decorum, him and Mike Huddleston, right before all this happened. And so it's been a while. I don't know how many of you picked up number 1, but I wanted to remind everyone number 2 is now orderable. So number 1, wow, what a ride. It was kind of 3 stories in one. The first story had space conquistadors going to war. The second part had a delivery girl who didn't want to make a certain delivery. Then the third part you had I guess some assassins arguing over a syndicate, and the delivery girl shows up and everything goes haywire. It was very awesome. So number 2 is coming out. True to Jonathan Hickman's style, things are rolling out slowly, but you can just sense there's something really big in it. So I just want to talk about...
Also, you did mention there is a diagram of ramen noodles.
That's right, the ramen noodle
most intricate diagram of a bowl of ramen. It's so Hickman that, like, if you know his X-Men stuff, he has a lot of prose and graphs, and this doesn't have as much of the prose, but he plays a lot with like illustrative ideas, shapes, that kind of thing. Not to take away from the art at all, but he has an interesting way of like weaving in these non-traditional comic storytelling techniques.
How could I have forgot about the ramen? Because we talked about the book the next day. We both read it, and I think half our discussion was about the ramen.
Yeah,
so it was really, really funny and interesting. So this also has a variant, and the variant's interesting. It's a wraparound variant. So, you know, a lot of times where they do variants or second printings, they'll just do a recoloring. But as you can see, so here's the original cover. You don't get all the art, but the wraparound you do. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Next up, we have NAILBITER returns.
That is horrifying. Like
as it should.
They just like pulled that right out of my worst nightmare.
Actually, before we go too far, someone has asked, and I did want to mention, we have plenty of Decorum number 1 left. So if you want to sign up for number 2, but you missed out on number 1, we still do have number 1 for you. So come get that. We'll hold it for you if you ask.
But yeah, back to the horror.
This is shocking.
You're just trying to get away from it because you don't want to look at it. I'm going to make you look at it. Nailbiter Returns is the return of Joshua Williamson and Mike Henderson's series they had going on a few years ago. Joshua Williamson went from doing books like Ghosts, which was a cool book about a heist. It was a heist, but they were going into a haunted house to steal a ghost. And but you probably know him from working on Flash right now. He's had like one of the probably like the third longest run on Flash, and it's been a huge hit. He wrote the Batman the Button story, which was one of the best in the previous series of Batman.
That's what pulled everybody into Rebirth.
Yeah, exactly. So he is a great writer, and the concept is really cool where there's this town, and investigators come in to find out why this town produces so many serial killers. And they're not your traditional, they're not real world-ish serial killers. These are almost like Batman villains. These are like 80s slasher movie versions. So you have Nailbiter, and that's kind of his shtick. There's a character I remember called Bookburner, and he would like burn down the library and stuff, and his calling card was like burning books. And it starts with this detective and his partner goes missing, and it ends up in crazy places of underwater pyramids and this secret the town has. Really awesome. And they're coming back to it now with I believe it's, I'm not sure how many issues it's going to be, but it's available to get the first volumes of the original Nailbiter series, and I think it'd be awesome if you read those, and then you can read this one. But Joshua Williamson is bigger than ever. Really cool book if you're a fan of kind of horror, but a little quirky, a little, fun. Definitely in the line of the like 80s slasher movie. Can't take it too seriously.
You've sold it to me for sure. I love horror. I don't know how I missed out on.
It was one of my favorite books when it was coming out. It was
good
so
news.
good.
I think we do. We have some of the.
I believe we do
one
have volume 1s
here.
here now.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. I got something to read.
Okay, we can keep with the strange and weirdness, okay? Because I didn't know anything about this until I did some research yesterday. But Paul is Dead does anybody know about this? So this is an original graphic novel based on a famous hoax that in 1966, hoax, conspiracy theory,
Completely
or it
real.
could be real. Let me know what you think. That in 1966, Paul McCartney died in a car accident and was replaced by an imposter. So that's the hoax, or the conspiracy theory. And fans went absolutely nuts. They started like playing albums backwards, looking for clues and, record covers, and trying to figure out, because they were certain that the real Paul McCartney was dead, and that who is this guy? So this is a fictionalized account of what if that were true. So yeah, it's a $16.99 for this volume, and like I said, it's a full original graphic novel. The art is like really psychedelic, which is what a lot of people associate
1960s.
with the Beatles. So yeah, the creators are both musicians themselves, and they said they kind of became obsessed with this hoax, like keeping newspaper clippings and all that. So it sounds really interesting. I started this not knowing what it was and was curious, but now I'm totally
that's
intrigued.
a rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah,
there's surprisingly a lot of like evidence other than just the backmasking of Paul is Dead.
Yeah,
where they're pointing on certain album covers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
there's a reason why on Abbey Road, like Paul's not wearing shoes, or like there's the number of people he's back
pointing to, like time of death. Like it's a whole thing, people. It's a whole thing. So,
but if you want to find out about it, here's a great way of learning about that.
Get your tinfoil hats ready.
Yes. So, like I said, the art's really psychedelic. This is another one where you can check out a preview of it on Previews World. So, just go click on Paul is Dead on the Previews World website, and you can read the first 5 pages. Get a little taste of the art and the weirdness that is if this actually happened.
Okay, before we get to our last comic, I wanted to go over the contest again. So we're doing a contest where you can win a free Batman 92 and the variant. And all you have to do is like our page. You need to share this video and just order your own copy of Batman 92. And we will choose a winner. We will announce the winner next show.
That was a drum roll.
I heard it.
Oh.
All right, and so the last book we're going over is Robert E. Howard's. He didn't write this, but it's based off his character, the Cimmerian, Red Nails. So it is Conan. They call him Conan in it. I don't know why his name can't be on the cover. It's probably some rights thing.
It's a Marvel rights issue, yeah.
So this is supposed to be more true to Robert E. Howard's Conan, meaning it's less censored. As you can kind of tell by the cover, a lot more violence and such. So in this, Conan and Valeria he's hanging out with her. I guess Red Sonja's busy counting her severed head collection or becoming queen or something. But Conan and Valeria are hanging out. They're in some forested region called Dafar, I believe. And apparently they fight a dragon, they find a hidden civilization within a citadel. It all sounds awesome. If you love Conan and you want to see something a little more true to the books, this is the new series. I think I said, so this is by Ablaze, actually. I thought it was Dynamite, but it's Ablaze.
Yeah.
It has several variant covers I'm going to flip through. So here's the first variant cover. I wrote down who did this. This is by Steve Morris. This one is by Victor Kalvachev. I think that one's really cool. I mean, that is scary.
Yeah.
When Conan's coming after you like that, you better run. This is by, this name is tough, Didier Casagrain. And lastly, we have, this is probably the one everyone's going to want, the Neil Adams Homage variant by Fritz Casas. So I think that is all the comics for this time, but we only choose like 9 or 10 comics to go over. There's at least like 50 of them to order. All you have to do is go to Previews World and under the catalog tab, hit the final order button, and you can see all the other ones available for order.
Yeah, so I've seen some people asking if they can order through this site, like, or go on the site. And if you see something that's on there, we can totally order that for you. We'll be happy to do it. So go ahead and include that in your orders. You can comment here. You can send us a message if you want to compile it all. If you have an established pull box with us, no need to prepay or anything. We'll just hold it for you as usual. But if you don't and you're interested, just shoot us your PayPal info, shoot us your mailing address, or even if you're local, just shoot us a message. We'll take care of you.
Yep, and as stated, everyone has until Monday at 5 p.m. to place their orders. Well, I think that's a wrap. That's our
issue
second,
2.
Yeah, issue 2 has been completed of Comics from the Future. I wonder how long before we have a theme song and
How long until we get a rebirth issue? Until we restart and we all have different costumes and Jason has shoulder pads.
with spikes.
With spikes, please.
Spiky shoulder
I wear a
pads.
lot of pouches.
I guess this is a good time to plug our other shows. If you guys like this, we also do a sale show on every Sunday.
Sunday Fun Day.
At 1
Comic
p.m.
sale.
Yep.
1 p.m.
So we sell lots of different things on that. Key issues, collected stuff. So definitely check out Sunday at 1. And we're going to be starting a new show on Tuesdays.
Yeah, we'll keep
We'll
that.
let you guys
we'll
know
keep
more
that
about
secret
that
for
soon. Yeah.
And of course, we'll be back next Friday at 1 o'clock to tell you more about Comics from the Future.
The future!
All right, well, thank you all for joining us.
That was
I hope
good.
you've enjoyed this as much as we have. And
We'll see you next time.
yep, signing off.